true downstairs as well, and continue to lift and develop and build up their bodies. So I liked it. I thought it was good.
Where did Jonas progress the most over spring, and how close is he to being truly game trustable?
Oh, I think the thing he improved the most on was just the fact that every day he got better and better and better. And I've told some of the other people here before, like, a lot of young quarterbacks, especially their first spring, will hit a wall midway through spring because you start stacking up installs and different plays, and then all kinds of starts running together. It just really didn't with him. And I think the thing he did a really good job of too was, all right, if he made a mistake on a play, he was very intentional about fixing it. There weren't a lot of repeated mistakes. So I think his overall grasp of the offense, and we got a chance to spend a lot of time together even before he got here, and he came here prepared. Obviously, you can never prepare for actual live bullets on the field. It's a different deal. But I think he handled himself well. He plays with a tremendous amount of confidence, which I think for a young quarterback is required. And obviously he benefits from, having some great players around him as well. And he obviously makes the guys around him better also. So, as far as game ready, I mean, we're taking this thing one day at a time and just embracing the process. And as time goes along here, he'll inch more and more and more to being ready to go.
Could you foresee a scenario where he has kind of a role in games, even if he's obviously not going to be the starter?
I think it's just too early to tell. Like I said, that's, we're obviously just finishing up spring and getting ready to get into some post-spring stuff, and then summer, and then training camp. So right now, just the focus is on, all right, taking, each snap of spring ball, evaluating everything, and putting together a really good plan for him to continue to build and grow on the great things that he did in the spring and some of the things he needs to work. Mm-hmm.
Anything that stands out to him during the spring game that kind of surprised you? Not spring game, but spring practice that surprised you?
I don't know that anything surprised me. Obviously got a chance to evaluate him for pretty much about an 18-month period of time where I really got a chance to see him in person, throwing, and then obviously getting to know him. So not a ton of things surprised me. I expected him to come in and compete and work really hard at it. I think the one thing I've said before was, different than some of my experiences in the 20-plus years I've been doing this is he didn't really hit a freshman wall in his first spring, where a lot of guys do because everything starts stacking up. He really plowed through it and got better every day and came prepared and came ready to work and definitely excited about where he's at and excited about him, continuing to work to get better.
How did you see your guys respond to back-to-back practices?
I thought it was good. For us as quarterbacks, we're in a slightly different colored jersey, so we're not doing a whole lot of blocking and tackling. We better not be doing a lot of tackling. I think it was cool because it kind of simulates almost like what game week is. It's a lot of, obviously in a game week, the middle of the week is your meat and potatoes. You have your little recovery after the game, and right before the game, obviously, practices are typically a little bit less physical, but I thought it gave our guys kind of a window to what the season feels like, the sense of urgency, the ability to go from one practice, and you don't have as much time in between them, so your studying has to be more intensified as far as getting ready and preparing for the next installs. And then obviously taking, what you did well and the things you need to get better from the previous practices and be able to apply that the next day. So I thought it was really good.
And what do you like from the scrimmages?
What's that?
What do you like from the scrimmages?
It was just, the main scrimmage that we had was very competitive. You didn't see just one side of the ball dominate the other side of the ball. There were plays made on both sides, and ultimately at the end of the day, when you have those type of competitive practices, that makes both sides of the ball so much better. So I thought our scrimmage scenarios where we moved the ball or maybe had a live period here and there were extremely balanced.
Where do you feel Jayden has grown the most as far as taking command of the whole team, not just the offense?
Yeah, I just think, him being here now, going on season 3.
Yeah, well.
Jayden earned the respect of this team pretty early on here because of the way that he worked. And, obviously his first 9 games as a Trojan, he was in a backup role, but had an incredible team-first attitude. So he's really earned the respect of the team, pretty quickly here. And then as he's performed well, even more so. And I think for him, just understanding that, all right, this is the last ride. You know, this is my team. And you know, the cool thing about Jayden is his interactions don't go to just one small part of the team. You know, he has the ability to spread himself out. He's not the loudest guy in the world, but he, you know, he has a very specific and cool kind of leadership feel and mentality about him, and he really does a good job of just spreading himself out through the whole course of the team, offense, defense, special teams. You can always see him encouraging guys in all phases, whether they're freshmen or they've been here for 4 or 5 years. So I think he's just found a really neat kind of sweet spot, you know, with his voice, continuing to work and be a tremendous example day in, day out, how you go about your business. So I think just the whole combination of his overall experience here and his confidence level and just, you know, being able to touch all different parts of the team has been really cool to watch.
What have you seen from Terrell Anderson and how he's been able to transition to this offense so far?
Yeah, just really smooth, very, very smooth route runner. Tremendous ball skills. I think he's done a really good job too. You know, when you go from one program to another, there might be some carryover, some similar plays, but everybody's got their own unique language. And I think he's adopted and learned our language pretty quick. And Coach Simmons has done a great job with him. And I like where he's at. We got a long way to go, but I feel like him and our quarterbacks have developed a good chemistry thus far, and I look forward to that continuing here for the next few months before training camp.
He's obviously new here, but he's the older guy in the room. Has there been a push for him to be more vocal, to kind of lead these guys and bring some of the freshmen?
No, I think right now just the initial push for him is just to learn the system, and I think that's kind of what starts first and foremost. And obviously we recruited him not just because he's a good player, but he's a really good person. He's got good work habits, and I just like the overall way that he's attacked things thus far. And as you continue to make more time and reps in this program, you know, usually the voice will start following a little bit more. But yeah, certainly his experience for that room is very valuable. You know, but love the characteristics that he displayed this spring, and look forward to him continuing with that.
What have you seen from Kayden Dixon-Wyatt?
Yeah, I mean, made a lot of plays. You know, Kayden, especially things down the field, you know, vertical throws and contested type catches. Has a really good knack for the football, strong hands. Another guy too that, you know, I know our quarterbacks have developed a lot of confidence in. He works hard at it. You can tell from the day that he got here, football's really important to him. Obviously coming from a program that played and competed at a very high level. I think he's transitioned really well, and excited for him to keep taking those next steps.
With this offense in the Big 12 and